Gonna be a totally random video, but I was doing some home repair type stuff and I thought I'd record it, so here you go. So basically this video is about flushing out your tankless water heater with white vinegar. And you're supposed to do this about once every year, and this makes sure that you can get all that scale out of your water heater and keeps it running nice and clean and efficient. And they say if you keep doing this every year, you can have extend the lifetime of your water heater significantly. But basically, this is really easy to do yourself, and it's much cheaper to buy all the stuff you need for it individually. I went online on Amazon and eBay, and if you look up water heater flushing kits or descaling kits, people are charging something like 150 to 200 bucks for this, and you can pay a quarter of that and have the same thing. So basically what you're gonna need is, well, first of all, your tankless water heater should be equipped with one of these flush kits. And all it is a pair of valves on the inlet and outlet, so you can hook up another set of hoses, and makes it easy to do a flush whenever you want. But if you don't have one of these, I suggest installing it. I just installed this water heater about a year ago, so I made sure I installed the hoses at the same time, or the valves at the same time. But if not, then, because if you don't have the valves, you're gonna need to disconnect the hoses at the source, and you're gonna have to shut the water off to your whole house probably, and it's gonna get messy. So this makes it a lot easier. So you're gonna want that. Then you're gonna want a submersible pump. I used one of these Superior pumps, 1/5 horsepower. I mean, you can probably use a 1/3 horsepower. They say not to go any lower than 1/6, so I went with 1/5. Now this pump was about maybe only like 40 bucks on Amazon, and that's much cheaper than buying a whole kit for like 200 bucks. Because all it is it's basically this pump, a bucket, which you probably already have, and a pair of hoses. You can use something as simple as just like a garden hose, or you can buy a pair of these washing machine hoses, which are like 10 bucks online. You don't have to go fancy. So other than that, oh, you're gonna also want some distilled white vinegar, which you can get at any grocery store. I bought this at Sam's Club, and it comes in, I think this one comes in 2 gallons. It's cheaper than Walmart. It was probably like 4 bucks for 2 gallons. And that's all you're really gonna need. They say you should get 4 gallons, but I think it depends on how big your bucket is. If you use a smaller bucket, you need less vinegar. Right now there's 2 gallons in there. Also, if you have a bigger water heater, it's going to take more water, but probably not that much more. So, that's about all you're going to need. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure you turn the power off to your water heater at the breaker. So I got it shut off. Mine uses 2, so I shut them both off. The other thing is you want to shut off your water. I did it at the source, as well as I installed a little shut-off valve right there. So I shut both of those off. Then you want to shut off the water to the water heater, and as well as leaving the water heater. So I turned both of these off. So what this does is it redirects the water to the valves. And then the valves themselves also have a shut off, so you could keep that closed, connect the hoses, and then open them up. So what you do is after you shut off the water to the water heater, isolating it from the system, you drain all the water that's still in there by opening these guys up. And after you do that, then you hook up your hoses. So you got your pump, the water exiting the pump is going into the intake on the water heater, and then it's leaving the water heater out of the hot valve back into the bucket. So you do that, you pour your vinegar in the bucket, you turn on the pump, you let the pump run for about an hour and a half. It's been going, it's almost done actually. Last I checked there was like 4 minutes left. So, the other thing that I did that you may want to do, especially if you have like hardwood floors right next to where you got all this water and you don't want any spills. So I have 2 water leak detection sensors. You got your regular little, this is I forgot what it's called, water bug or leak bug or something like that, or I know they have a frog one called leak frog. So all this does is if it senses a water leak, these 2 connections make a circuit and it beeps. Here, if I touch these 2, it'll do it. So basically it'll sound like, oh, now it's not working, but oh look, now it's not working. That's nice. How embarrassing. But basically it'll beep if there's a leak. And then this one is the same thing, but this is part of my smart home setup, so this will actually notify on my phone and send me a text, so I'll know even if I'm not home if there's a leak. But this is nice, so I don't have to be sitting here the whole time watching it for an hour and a half. I can be in another room, and if something happens, it'll let me know. So basically that's about it. I will pause this and I'll probably come. Alright, I'm back. So at this point I've disconnected the pump. I've flushed some cold water through the system a couple times to clear out all the vinegar from inside. Closed up all the valves, so got rid of all that stuff. The next thing is, I also ran some cold water. I haven't turned on the water heater yet, but I did run some water. I opened up all the hot water taps throughout the house and ran the water to get all the air bubbles and stuff out. They say to do that when you first install the water heater, so I thought I'd do it again. So the next thing we want to do is turn the water heater back on in the breaker. That's these 2. And as you can see, it now has power. So we set it to whatever it was set to before. And now we go back to the restroom. Let's see what we got. Turn on the hot water. And it's going to take a little bit of time to heat up because it's been off for like 3 hours now, but it should be pretty instant. Come on. Oh, feeling it. Warming up. There we go. We got hot water. Just to confirm. Where did I put that thing? We got our thermometer. So as you can see, it's 135 at the heater. And right here, we got the valve. Let's see. I don't know if this works. Let's see. 118. So down there it's 118. But lower, let's see if I can get it to. I don't know if we can measure. Maybe it's not able to pick that up. Well, close to 120 over here. So, there you go. Water heater flushed. And it cost me, for everything, maybe 60, 70 bucks total. And I can, the next time I'm gonna flush it, all it's gonna be is just buy some more white water or white vinegar. There you go.